And the cats listened, mesmerized as Elder Marmalade wove a tale of adventure, friendship and kindness, her voice like warm honey, sweet and slow. Wisp, the kitten in the story, was small but brave, always getting into scrapes but learning valuable lessons with every tumble. As the story flowed, the cats in the treehouse shifted and snuggled deeper into their cozy spots. Some even let out tiny meows of delight or gasped softly at the exciting parts. Elder Marmalade, the storyteller, was an expert at capturing their attention. With each flick of her tail, she painted pictures in their minds as vivid as the moonlit sky outside the treehouse window. When she described a babbling brook, the cats could almost hear its gentle song. When she spoke of a field of sunflowers taller than the clouds, the cats imagined their fuzzy heads nodding in the breeze. By the time Wish had faced a grumpy troll under a bridge or rescued a ladybug from a thorny bush, the cats in the audience were part of the story themselves. They shared Wish's laughter, her determination, and her kindness. Through her, they explored new places, experienced thrilling moments and learned about the importance of helping others. And when Wisp finally solved her problems with clever thinking and a big heart, the cats in the treehouse erupted in tiny cheers. Yes, they cheered. For a kitten who embodied their own hopes, courage and compassion. It was as if Wisp's adventures were their own, her triumphs echoing their dreams, her struggles reminding them of their own challenges. In the hushed, cozy room of Whiskerwood Hollow, surrounded by the scents of chamomile and old dreams, the cats became one with the story. Their hearts beat in time with Wisp's daring escapades. Their whiskers twitched with anticipation at every twist and turn in the tale. Elder Marmalade, the storyteller, watched their rapt faces, their eyes shining with wonder and excitement. She saw in them not just cats, but adventurers, heroes and dreamers. To her, their hushed whispers, their gasps and their soft meows were music to her ears. It was as if she wasn't telling a story, but guiding them all on a magical journey. The great cozy Cats Pyjama Party was more than just a gathering. It was a celebration of the power of stories, of the magic they hold to transport, to inspire, and to unite. And in the heart of Whiskerwood Hollow, under the soft glow of the moon, the cats lived that magic, becoming part of the very tale that Elder Marmalade wove. As the last notes of her story faded into the quiet hum of the night, the room remained still, as if holding its breath. Then a flurry of soft meows and sleepy purrs broke the silence, each cat eager to share their thoughts, their feelings and their dreams inspired by the tale. Finally, Elder Marmalade lifted her head, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "What do you think?" she asked, her voice a gentle rumble. The cats, their eyes shining with excitement, their voices hushed but eager, shared their thoughts. "Oh, Wisp was so clever," purred a gray tabby, her tail swishing gently. "I liked when she outsmarted the grumpy troll. But her kindness to the ladybug was the best," added a tortoiseshell cat, nuzzling her paws together. "That reminded me of the time I helped a lost kitten find its way home." The cats continued talking, their voices soft murmurs in the stillness of the night. Their conversation flowed like a gentle stream, winding through the story, dipping into their own experiences and bubbling over with enthusiasm. The room was filled with the soft rustle of fur, the gentle murmur of voices and the occasional sleepy meow. Each cat had a story to tell, a feeling to share, a thought to express. Meanwhile, outside Whiskerwood Hollow, the night deepened. The wind sang a soft lullaby through the trees, rustling the leaves into hushed whispers. The fireflies blinked their lights like fallen stars, and the crickets chirped their gentle tunes. The world outside the treehouse was a symphony of nighttime sounds, a soothing melody that blended perfectly with the soft murmurs within. One by one, the cats drifted from their lively discussion, their eyelids growing heavy, their bodies yearning for rest. Elder Marmalade, watching them, smiled knowingly. She understood the pull of slumber, the irresistible call of dreams. She had seen countless pajama parties come and go, each one ending in a sea of sleeping cats. The cats snuggled deeper into their cozy spots, their breaths slowing, their bodies relaxing. Elder Marmalade, her eyes half closed, let out a soft purr. She closed her eyes, the tale of Wisp still echoing in her mind. She dreamed of brave kittens, wise old owls and magical adventures. One by one, the cats in Whiskerwood Hollow drifted off to sleep, their dreams filled with stories and starlight, their bodies curled into perfect balls of fluff and slumber. They slept, their soft snores blending with the night sounds, creating a harmonious lullaby. Soon, Whiskerwood Hollow was silent except for the soft breathing of sleeping cats. The only movement was the gentle rise and fall of their chests as they breathed, their dreams carrying them away on whispers of moonlight and stardust. The great cozy Cats Pyjama Party had come to a peaceful end, but the spirit of the evening lingered in the room. The story of Wisp echoed in their dreams, and the bond they shared remained, woven into the fabric of their cozy little town. In the morning light, after the dreams had faded and the sun had chased away the shadows, the cats would wake up, stretch, yawn and remember the magic of the night before. They would groom each other, sharing sleepy smiles and quiet meows of greeting. And when they stepped out of Whiskerwood Hollow blinking in the sunlight, they would carry with them the echoes of Wisp's adventures. The warmth of their shared stories and the comforting knowledge that in their cozy little town the magic of friendship and kindness never sleeps. And you, little one, nestled in your blankets, are you dreaming of cozy towns and brave little kittens? Are you flying with fireflies through fields of moonlit sunflowers, chasing butterflies made of stardust? What adventures are you having in your dreams? Maybe you're exploring Whiskerwood Hollow with the cats, sipping warm honey tea with miso, or solving riddles with tuna under a sky full of sparkling paws. Or perhaps you're playing with Butterbean, giggling as he tickles you with his extra-large sleepy socks. Wherever you are in your dreams, little one, know that you are safe, loved and cherished. You are the star of your own story, and your dreams are filled with magic, adventure and endless possibilities. So keep dreaming, little one. Dream big dreams, cozy dreams, happy dreams. For in your dreams, anything can happen, and you are braver, stronger and kinder than you ever imagine. Now, my little sleepyhead, it's time to drift a little deeper into your dreams. Let your eyelids grow heavy like downy feathers, your breathing slow and soft. Close your eyes, breathe in the sweetness of dreams, and let the magic of sleep wrap around you like a warm blanket. Sleep tight, little one. May your dreams be filled with the softest whispers, the gentlest breezes, and the quietest stars. Sweet dreams until the morning light tiptoes in with sleepy smiles and golden rays. Shh. It's quiet now. It's peaceful now. Rest easy, little one, because the night is still and the world is yours in dreams.
Calming sleep story for kids. Cozy Cats Pyjama Party. Bedtime story to help kids sleep better. Part 2. Night games, cozy treats and moonlight wishes. Once upon a time, deep in the whispering woods where fireflies played hide and seek among the flowers, there was an old oak tree. An ancient, sturdy tree, whose branches creaked like rocking chairs, welcoming tired souls to lean against them and rest. And in this tree, high above the ground, lived a group of cats who prided themselves on being the coziest cats in the whole wide world. There were 8 of them in all, each unique and wonderful, living in a treehouse that was always filled with sunshine and freshly baked treats. On this particular evening, a sweet slumber settled over the forest. It was the perfect time for their weekly pajama party, a celebration of sleep and dreams held every Friday night. The cats bustled about, getting everything just right. Elder Marmalade, the oldest and wisest of them all, carefully stoked the fire in the hearth, making sure the flames danced just low enough to avoid setting their cozy curtains ablaze. Butterbean, the smallest of the bunch, with flour always dusted across his paws, was busy whipping up dreamsicles, yummy frozen treats made from moonlight and stardust. Meanwhile, Miso, the fluffiest of the lot, helped Tuna, the greasiest cat in the bunch, hang up their pajamas, which were nearly as colorful as a rainbow after a good wash. Each cat had their own favorite set. Miso adored hers with moon and star patterns, while Tuna couldn't resist his striped ones that made him look like a majestic tiger, or so he claimed. As twilight deepened into night, the cats gathered in the main hall, a spacious room decorated with dried flowers, twinkling lights, and stacks of well-loved books. Elder Marmalade sat down on a large cloud cushion, inviting the others to do the same. "All right, little ones," she said, her voice as soothing as warm milk. "It's time for our nightly story." With that, she took a fluffy pillow and propped it up in front of her. "Tonight," she began, her eyes sparkling, "we will explore the great beyond, a land where clouds are castles, stars are fluffy cushions, and dreams are spun from pure imagination." And as her tale unfolded, transporting them to magical lands and introducing them to all sorts of fantastical creatures, the kittens at the Cozy Cat Pajama Party sat spellbound, their eyes wide with wonder, their little paws gripping their favorite cushions, completely engrossed in the story. The fire crackled merrily in the hearth, casting flickering shadows that danced along the walls, adding a touch of magic to the already enchanting tale. The hours slipped by unnoticed as the kittens laughed at the silly antics of the characters and gasped at their daring adventures. When Elder Marmalade finally finished the story, the hall was filled with a comfortable silence. "What did you like best about the tale?" Elder Marmalade asked, turning to the kittens. "I like the part where the brave knight rescued the princess from the dragon," said one. "But I liked when the wise wizard turned the bad witch into a frog," added another. Each kitten shared their favorite moment, their voices echoing in the stillness of the night. Then Elder Marmalade smiled. "Well, my dears, it's time to begin our night games." The kittens cheered and dashed about the room, their energy returning in full force. They played hide and seek, their tiny bodies weaving in and out of the furniture until they were breathless with laughter. They had races up and down the hallways, their paws pattering on the wooden floor. And they engaged in a fierce battle of pillow forts, creating towering structures and engaging in mock warfare. Their joy echoed through the treehouse, mingling with the scent of dreamsicles and freshly baked bread. Eventually, their games grew slower, their movements gentler, their laughter quieter. They were ready for the final part of their pajama party, the cozy moments before sleep. First, they gathered around the table to enjoy their dreamsicles, the cold treat bringing happy sighs and contented purrs. Then it was time for the whisper game, a tradition where each cat shared their secret wishes and dreams. One by one, the cats nestled into their cushions, closing their eyes. "Oh, I wish I could fly with the moonbirds," whispered one. "I want to chase shooting stars for a whole night," dreamt another. Each wish was precious, each dream cherished. Finally, it was Elder Marmalade's turn. "My dear friends," she began, "I wish for all of you to sleep soundly tonight, wrapped in the warmest blankets of dreams." And as if her words had woven a spell, the room grew quiet. The cats yawned, stretching their sleepy bodies. It was time for bed. They scurried to their rooms, each one filled with stuffed toys, comfortable beds, and shelves laden with books. As the darkness deepened outside, the soft glow of moonbeams spilled through the windows, bathing the treehouse in silver light. Each cat snuggled into their beds, ready to embrace the night. The great beyond waited for no one. The kittens dreamed of fluffy clouds, starry skies, and wondrous adventures, their sleep as peaceful as the forest itself. In the heart of whispering woods, inside the cozy treehouse, nestled amidst the moonlit branches of the ancient oak, sleep descended, bringing with it the sweetest of dreams. Outside Whiskerwood Hollow, the stars swirled slowly in the night sky, like sleepy sugar stirred into a midnight cup of cocoa. The moon smiled down, soft and wide, casting silver beams through the leafy canopy, wrapping the treehouse in a blanket of moonlight. Inside, everything was still, except for dreams. Because while the kittens lay curled and cozy in their nests, their dreams had already tiptoed free. They danced gently out of their ears like ribbons of mist, curling through the air with glittering softness. These weren't ordinary dreams. Oh no, these were whiskered dreams. The kind that purr and giggle and stretch their paws out while floating through the air. Each kitten's dream drifted gently upward, some like soap bubbles, round and shimmering, others like glowing butterflies or jelly beans made of light. Wisp, dreaming from her nest of moss and moon feathers, found herself floating once more across the dream meadow. This time, she wasn't alone. All the other kittens were with her, paws outstretched, gliding silently over soft winds of starlight. Wisp called Tumble from atop a flying pumpkin-shaped boat made of candy bark. "We're going to the Nap Nebula. Wanna come?" Wisp smiled, her tiny paws tucked under her chin. "Yes, please," she whispered in her sleep. And so they floated together across a velvet sky, past the drowsy hills, over the sleepy river, until they reached the Nap Nebula, a swirly pocket of stardust and cotton clouds where every snore echoed like a lullaby. Here, dream fish swam through the air, glowing faintly like fireflies. Wisp reached out, and one nuzzled her paw. Its scales were made of bedtime poems, gently rhyming with every flick of its tail. Meanwhile, in Butterbean's dream, a bakery floated through the clouds, not on the ground, not even attached to anything, just drifting lazily on a doughy cloud. Inside the bakery, teacups stirred themselves and sleepy scones snuggled into little napkins. Butterbean waddled in wearing a baker's hat that was far too big. He chuckled as he served yawning muffins to a line of napping hedgehogs, each wearing a bonnet. Outside, a sign read, "Open only in Dreams Breadcrumbs Bakery." Back in Tuna's dream, he had become a great sea captain, not of a boat on water, but a cloud ship, sailing the dreamy winds like a giant pillow pirate. His ship had sails made of pajamas and a crew of napping mice with tiny eye masks. Every so often, they dropped anchor a giant stuffed button and drifted silently over dream islands shaped like teapots and teddy bears. And Miso, sweet little Miso, dreamed she was curled inside a petal, a giant floating blossom that carried her gently through meadows where lullabies grew on trees. She could pluck a leaf and hear a song, each one softer than the last, each one making her heart grow heavier with sleepy joy. As the kittens dreamed, soft sparkles filled the air of Whiskerwood Hollow, and from the beams of the treehouse, the dream lanterns began to glow. These lanterns didn't need fire or candles. They glowed only when the dreams inside were peaceful. And tonight, oh, tonight, they glowed like 1,000 fireflies whispering, "Shh, Elder Marmalade." Though asleep, purred gently as her rocking chair swayed just the tiniest bit. In her dream, she was knitting the sky, threading clouds into constellations, tying stars into bows, humming as she worked. The fireplace crackled once, sending a final puff of warmth through the room. The air smelled of chamomile and stories. And outside, the wind began to sing. Yes, sing, not loudly, not a real tune, just a gentle hum. The kind that makes the leaves sway slowly and the shadows curl up for their own naps. Even the whisker mice who lived under the treehouse stairs and wore button-sized slippers tiptoed up to peek. They watched the kittens, smiling, before curling under tiny quilts made of cupcake wrappers. Above it all, a sleepy owl hooted once, a long, low hoo that echoed like a snore made of feathers. He fluttered to a branch and tucked his beak beneath his wing. Every creature, every petal, every paw was wrapped in stillness. A kind of quiet that only happens in the coziest places, when everyone feels loved, when dreams are kind and hearts are full. In the dream meadow, Wisp looked up as a trail of stars formed above her. The star moth hovered once more, its wings painting gentle swirls in the sky. You did it, it whispered. You found the dream inside you. Wisp smiled, her eyes half closed. I want to stay here forever. The star moth gently fluttered closer. You will, every time you close your eyes and let yourself float. And with that, Wisp drifted back down through her dream, back through clouds and giggles and moonbeams, until she lay, once again, tucked in her mossy nest at Whiskerwood Hollow, a little smile curling on her lips, her paws twitching just slightly, wrapped in the glow of the dream she now carried in her heart. Now, usually when a story begins, we meet our characters first, awake and ready for adventure. You know them, at their best, their wittiest, their boldest. But what about when they're asleep? What about the silent hours before sunrise? And what about the magic that might happen then? We meet our cozy cats. It's been another busy day in Whiskerwood Hollow. After rescuing a butterfly from a thorny bush, helping Mama Robin mend her broken nest, and sharing jokes with the fireflies at dusk, the kittens are exhausted. It's time for bed. So while the moon paints the sky in shades of indigo and violet, they change into their fluffiest pajamas and settle in for a night of bedtime stories with Elder Marmalade. Elder Marmalade clears her throat, her green eyes twinkling above her spectacles. Once upon a time, she begins, and the kittens snuggle deeper into their blankets, ready for an exciting adventure. There was a little kitten who lost her bell. Oh, dearie me, what will she do? As the tale unfolds, the kittens drift off to sleep, each in their favorite spot. Butterbean falls asleep inside his beanbag chair with a soft thump. Tuna curls up next to a basket of yarn, and Miso drifts off on a cloud of dandelion fluff perched on top of the bookshelf. Wisp climbs into her hammock between the bookshelves, and soon she's fast asleep, her tiny paws clutching a well-worn teddy mouse. Elder Marmalade yawns, all done with her story. No one stirs, so she pads softly out of the room, tucking in the last of the lanterns as she goes. The kittens are all asleep, their dreams as boundless as the night sky. And that's when it begins. Deep in the night, somewhere between the ticking of the stars and the hush of the breeze, something even more magical began to stir. Meanwhile, on a star-dusted windowsill, a silvery light shimmers. In its glow stands a sleek black cat. Her emerald eyes sparkle like distant galaxies, and around her neck, she wears a necklace of tiny bells. Each one whispers secrets to the wind. This is the Midnight Cat. Not many cats know of her. She comes only to those who truly love bedtime. She tiptoes in when the world is most hushed, when every tale is still, every paw is tucked, and every dream is already floating. No one sees her arrive. She never knocks. She simply appears, a quiet shape of velvet, shadow, and starlight. Her fur is dark as the deepest night, her eyes glow silver like the moon seen through sleepy lashes, and around her neck, she wears a necklace of tiny bells, though not one makes a sound. She moves slowly through the room, pausing beside each sleeping kitten. Above her, the wind chimes dance and sigh. She watches Butterbean, his cheeks puffed out, his paws twitching as he dreams of cream. To Miso, she gives a gentle nudge of her head and watches as she lets out a soft snore shaped like a crescent moon. Tuna murmurs a giggle in his sleep, and the Midnight Cat purrs in reply. Just once, a soft vibration like stardust in a jar. And Wisp? She hovers over Wisp the longest. She looks down at the tiny kitten whose dreams glow so brightly they make her fur shimmer. And then from deep within her velvet chest, the midnight cat begins to hum. Not a hum you'd hear with your ears, but a hum you'd feel in your heart. A lullaby without words, just feeling, softness, stillness, the longing. The midnight cat's hum curls into every corner, weaving through the shadows and settling in the spaces between breaths. The lanterns flicker once, as if in time with her song. The flames dance low and slow, sending sparks up the chimney in swirling trails. Even the stars outside seem to blink slower now, as if they too are falling asleep. The midnight cat opens her eyes. She looks down at the slumbering kittens, and a smile touches her lips. It's just a feeling, like a warm glow spreading through the room, like a promise whispered on the wind, like the hush that falls after a goodnight kiss. And then, just like that, she's gone. But her humming lingers, not loud, not even really sound anymore, just feeling, a warmth behind the heart, a hush in the chest, a stillness in the pause. Time passes. No one knows how long because time doesn't matter when sleep is deep and dreams are kind. Eventually, the first ray of dawn stretches across the floor, golden and sleepy. It tiptoes in through the curtains, touches a tail here, a paw there, and slowly, gently, the kittens begin to stir. Wisp blinks once, twice. She yawns so big her whiskers quiver. Her paws reach up and stretch like jelly, then curl again. Butterbean rolls out of his beanbag with a soft thump, giggling in his sleep. Tuna licks his paw though he's still dreaming of jellyfish balloons. Miso sits up, blinks at the sunlight, and gives the tiniest little smile. The pajama party isn't over. Not really. Because the best part of the cozy cat's pajama party is always the morning after when everyone wakes up just enough to share their dreams. But first, they stay nestled in their blankets and hammocks, paws still tucked, eyes half lidded as they whisper, I dreamed of flying muffins, and a sea made of yawns, and I met a cat made of stars. Elder Marmalade woke last. She always did. She stretches so slowly it looks like her bones are melting into clouds. Then she looks around at the sleepy, happy, purring kittens, and whispers, wasn't it a lovely night? And they all nod, even those too sleepy to answer. Miso curls back into her pillow. Butterbean pulls his blanket up over his nose, and Wisp presses her paw to her heart, because even though no one had said it out loud, she remembered. She remembered the hum, the hush, the midnight cat, and somewhere in her, the lullaby still sang. Somewhere between the first chirp of a waking robin and the stretch of a sleepy kitten, a story unfolded, not in words or pictures, but in feelings, hopes, and dreams. In the hush of a sleeping house, magic stirred. The midnight cat visited, leaving behind a stillness that spoke volumes. A reminder that sometimes the quietest moments hold the loudest tales. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, chasing away the last bits of darkness, the cozy cats woke fully now, ready for a new day filled with adventures and sunshine. The memory of the night before lingered, a comforting warmth in their hearts. The midnight cat's visit, a secret treasure tucked away until next time. For in the cozy nooks of Whiskerwood Hollow, magic wove its way into every day, reminding all who live there that sometimes the most enchanting stories happen when the world is asleep. And suddenly, a meow so soft and slow and sweet, it sounded like purring smoke curling through a dream. And it came from a place where cats never lived, because the fire station was just for humans, right? Well, this was a special fire station, for very special cats. This is the story of what happened when a stray cat named Socks found her way inside. What's that? Oh, you want a story about a stray cat finding adventure? Sure, come closer. Let me tell you. There was a stray cat named Socks. Where did she come from? Oh, that's easy. She came from nowhere and everywhere all at once. You see, stray cats like Socks always come from somewhere, but they never remember where. And this cat couldn't remember anything at all except that she loved boxes and the names Parker and George. It didn't mean much, but it was enough. So she walked around calling Parker, George, and opening boxes until she found someone who answered. And she was looking for someone because living alone in the wide and sometimes scary world could be hard when you were a tiny gray and white kitty cat with a torn ear and only one green eye. And that's when she saw it. Through a window high up on the wall, she saw a red truck parked outside a brick building with words written on the side. Hearthside Fire Station. Seemed fancy, seemed safe, but most of all, it seemed warm. So Socks did what any sensible cat would do. She went up the drain pipe to the window, stared straight inside, and meowed as loud as she could. Parker, George, let me in. But what's that? Oh, you want to know what happened next? All right, All right. Settle down. Settle down. Here we go. Inside, a group of cats were playing poker, or maybe it was checkers. Couldn't quite tell. All Socks could see were tails swishing, paws tapping, and two cats fighting over a patch of sunlight. Good afternoon, sirs, Socks called. Might I interest you in some company? I have a lovely green eye, a tournier, and a talent for chasing string. The cats paused for a moment and stared at her. They looked thoughtful. Then they went back to what they were doing. Oh, come now, Socks meowed. Can a girl get some action around here? One cat flicked an ear back at her and said, We're busy. Well, suits me, Socks said, puffing up her chest. I was just leaving, and with that, she turned away, crossed the roof, jumped down the drain pipe and disappeared. Seemed rude, but really, they just weren't cat people. And besides, they didn't know what to do with a new cat because these cats weren't any ordinary cats. They were hearth cats, members of a secret society devoted to keeping fireplaces roaring throughout the human world. It was dangerous work, demanding focus and courage, discipline and charm. And these cats were the very best at it. Heck, they didn't even use yarn toys. They played poker with real money. But even the best poker players in the world get lonely sometimes, which brings us back to Socks. She missed the warmth of her mother's belly, the playful nip of a sister's tooth, the rumble of a purring brother. She wanted a family, but mostly she wanted a home. So she climbed down the ladder and looked around. Maybe she could move in with some pigeons, or squirrels. No, she needed something bigger, cozier, warmer. And that's when she smelled it. Smoke. Not bad smoke. Good smoke. Sweet smoke. Delicious. Her tummy rumbled, and she followed her nose to the nearest chimney. Excuse me, she called. Is it all right if I come in? I'll guard your home from spiders and mice and anything else that might try to sneak inside while you are away. You can do that? Course I can. You don't have to worry about anything while I'm around. Oh, thank you. We'll take you up on that offer. Then a ginger cat emerged from the chimney, followed by a black and white cat with a pink nose. Hi, I'm Ginger, the orange cat said, dipping his chin. And this is Domino. Welcome to Hearthside Fire Station. Nice to meet you, Socks said, giving a little wave. Can I stay here? Pretty please? Oh, you bet, Domino said. We could use another pair of paws around here. Really? Oh, great. I'll start right away. Socks raced ahead of them. What do you need help with? Just follow us, Ginger said with a grin. This is going to be so fun. And it was. Fun. It was thrilling. It was exciting. And it was amazing. Socks helped build fires, fed the birds that sat on the windowsills, chased mice, and even learned how to play poker. It turns out the trick was to memorize everyone's face. She also learned about the prophecy. The legend goes that one day a stray cat will wander into Hearthside Fire Station, bring wisdom and bravery, and save the day. Of course, Socks didn't know any of that. She was too busy helping Domino trim the Christmas tree. What do you think? Domino asked, tilting her head. It looks lovely, Socks said, her green eye sparkling. Though maybe it needs a little catnip here, and a few more baubles, and perhaps a gingerbread house. Don't mind if I do, Domino said with a smile. I love gingerbread. But what's that? Oh, you want to know what happened next? Well, buckle up. This is where things get interesting. Socks settled into life at the firehouse faster than anyone could say fire sale. She chased mice with Pepper, napped in patches of sun with Cinder, learned how to fly down chimneys with Blaze, and helped Ginger plan his surprise birthday party for Domino. It was everything Socks had ever dreamed of: friends, food, and fun. Plus, whenever a fireplace needed tending, the cats piled into the truck and raced away, making Socks feel braver and bolder than she'd ever been. One day, however, the mood changed. A heavy silence fell over the station and the cats huddled together staring at a letter tied to the poker. What's wrong? Socks asked, her whiskers drooping. Bad news, Ginger said, his voice shaking. Our numbers are dwindling. Soon there won't be enough of us to keep all the fireplaces burning. What can we do? We've sent word to every cat in the county, but it might not be enough, Blaze said, his green eyes dim. The world is changing. People leave their homes empty for days. Sometimes they board up their fireplaces altogether. And without the heat, well, we can't survive. Socks felt a lump form in her throat. She didn't want anything bad to happen to her new home. So she did the only thing she could think of. She marched over to the letter opener and dipped her paw in ink. Hold it right there, she said. Just give me a minute. Socks, what are you doing? Ginger asked, rushing to her side. Writing letters, Socks said, dipping her pen in ink once more. Of course. I'll find cats. I'm good at finding cats. I'll bring them home. And with that, she signed her name to the letter and set off to find the bestest, bravest, warmest cats in the whole wide world. What? Oh. You want to know how she did it? Okay. Here you go. Socks traveled to barns and basements, alleys and attics, even the occasional castle. She climbed trees and sailed rooftops, swam rivers and flew fences, meeting all sorts of cats along the way. There were tuxedo cats with bushy tails and calico cats with crooked grins, tabby cats and tortoiseshell cats, short hair, long hair, fluffy hair, skinny hair, patched hair, striped hair, every color, pattern, and texture imaginable. And Socks asked each one if they'd like to come live at the firehouse. At first, most of them laughed. They had their own routines, their own spots, their own lives. But Socks persisted. She reminded them of the cold winter nights, the empty houses, and the lonely hours. And eventually, one by one, they agreed. When Socks returned to the fire station, she brought 12 new cats with her. When the others heard Socks' tale, their eyes widened. They all wanted to help save the firehouse. So they put on their bravest faces, trotted to the front door, and meowed as loud as they could. Let us. In the whispering woods where fireflies danced among ancient trees, there was a hollow where moonlight spilled through the leaves, known as Whiskerwood Hollow. Here lived 9 magical kittens, 9 bundles of fluff and wonder who tumbled through life with boundless energy until one by one, each evening, they nestled into dreams as deep and dark as the velvety night. One night, tucked amidst a sea of clouds, a faint glow emerged, the soft luminescence of 1,000 fireflies gathered in silent reverence. In the heart of the glow, a figure took shape, a magnificent cat with fur like polished obsidian and eyes that twinkled like distant stars. This was the Midnight Cat, a creature of myth and magic who graced Whiskerwood Hollow only once a year, bringing with him the gift of dreams. As the Midnight Cat approached, the 9 kittens stirred from their slumber. Drawn by an unseen force, they gathered at the edge of the clearing, their wide eyes reflecting the ethereal glow. Before them, the Midnight Cat dipped his head in greeting. His voice, a resonant purr, echoed through the hollow. Little dreamers, I bring tidings of joy and slumber. For tonight, like every night, I shall weave dreams as soft as feathers and deep as starlight. With a flick of his tail, he conjured a swirling vortex of iridescent light. Step into the lumina, my dears, and I shall take you to the land of Nod where dreams are born and magic unfolds. One by one, the kittens stepped into the lumia. Each carried a vessel to collect their dreams. Wisp, the smallest of the litter, clutched a dandelion seed head, its delicate fibers ready to capture the lightest dreams. Tuna, adventurous and curious, held out a seashell, hoping to gather the whispers of the tides. Miso, the dreamer, chose a porcelain teacup, its smooth surface perfect for holding 1,000 fantasies. Butterbean, the gentle one, brought a woven basket, dreaming of cradling soft, fluffy dreams. Elder Marmalade, the wisest of the bunch, simply opened her paws, ready to receive whatever dream the night may bring. As the lumia whirled, the cats vanished into the swirling light, emerging moments later in a realm bathed in silver moonlight. Before them stretched the land of Nod, a landscape crafted entirely of dreams. Rolling hills of spun sugar and marshmallow, rivers of melted chocolate and caramel, and mountains that scraped the underside of the clouds. Laughter echoed through the valleys, music danced on the air, and the very stones shimmered with playful sprites. Welcome, little dreamers, the Midnight Cat purred. Here, within this enchanted realm, you are free to roam, to play, to dream. And with a final flourish, he disappeared, leaving the kittens to explore the wonders that unfolded around them. First, they marveled at the talking tree, its branches heavy with sparkling apples that sang as they were plucked. They raced across fields of moonbeams, each step leaving a trail of shimmering dust. And they chased butterflies whose wings were spun from moonlight and stardust. They slid down rainbow slides, sailed on seas of pure imagination, and swam in pools reflecting 1,000 twinkling stars. And then they discovered the Whisper Grove, a clearing where the trees whispered secrets to the wind. The kittens sat on moss-covered logs and closed their eyes, listening to the tales that swirled around them. Stories of brave adventurers, magical quests, and faraway lands filled their ears, planting seeds of wonder that would blossom into dreams. As the night deepened, the kittens continued their adventures. They met friendly creatures who lived within the dreams, playful pixies, wise old owls, and even a grumpy troll who surprised them with a hearty laugh and a booming song. Together, they shared laughter, friendship, and the simple joy of living within a world where anything was possible. Finally, as the first whispers of dawn began to touch the horizon, the kittens knew it was time to return. Hand in paw, they retraced their steps, their hearts brimming with the magic they had experienced. When they reached the familiar clearing, the Lumia waited, ready to carry them back to Whiskerwood Hollow. Stepping back into the familiar surroundings, the kittens felt a pang of sadness, but also a sense of deep contentment. As the first rays of sunlight peeked through the trees, they scurried to their cozy spots within the hollow, each clutching their vessels filled with the night's adventures. When Elder Marmalade awoke, she found that her paws held not a dream at all, but a single sparkling pebble. Yet when she showed it to the others, their faces mirrored her wonder. For as they gazed at the stone, it shimmered with images of talking trees, singing streams, and laughing sprites. Each kitten saw the magic they had experienced, and with it, a part of the Midnight Cat's gift lived on in their memories. Days turned into weeks, filled with games, adventures, and quiet moments of reflection. The kittens carried the magic of their dreams within them, their hearts touched by the wonders they had seen. The Midnight Cat's annual visit became a cherished memory, a secret treasure that bound the kittens together. Then, as the season turned and autumn painted the leaves in hues of gold and crimson, the kittens felt a familiar pull on their hearts, a longing for adventure and the magic of dreams. Once again, the fireflies gathered, forming a luminous circle in the night sky. And once more, the Midnight Cat stood at the edge of Whiskerwood Hollow, his eyes twinkling with invitation. With a mix of excitement and nostalgia, the kittens prepared to journey back to the land of Nod. But this time, they were different. They were older, a little wiser, and their hearts held the echoes of past adventures. As they stepped into the Lumia, hand in paw, the kittens exchanged knowing glances. They knew what to expect, yet they were ready for new wonders. The land of Nod greeted them as before, a place of endless possibility. But as they played, they couldn't help but compare this visit with the last, wondering if the magic could be as vibrant as real. And then it hit them. The magic wasn't just in the Lumia or the Midnight Cat or the dazzling landscapes. It was in their dreams, in their hearts, and in their friendship. When they explored the Whisper Grove, the trees seemed to whisper their names, sharing stories woven from their laughter and their dreams. The talking tree offered them riddles that only they could solve, and the friendly troll challenged them to a game that tested not their strength, but their kindness and their wit. As the night deepened, the kittens realized the magic of the land of Nod lay in the shared moments, in the friendships that bloomed and the bonds that strengthened. They weren't just collecting dreams anymore. They were creating memories, weaving tales that would become part of their shared history. The return of the Midnight Cat wasn't just about dreams. It was about friendship, about courage, and about the magic that happens when hearts are open and dreams take flight. With that understanding, their adventures took on a deeper meaning. So when the first hints of dawn touched the sky, the kittens knew it was time to return. They had found the true magic of the dreams, and it resided not in distant lands, but in the connections they had made along the way. Back in Whiskerwood Hollow, as they shared their experiences, the kittens realized that the magic didn't end with the return of the Midnight Cat. It lived within them, within their memories, and most importantly, within their friendship. Their bond had deepened, their spirits were lighter, and their hearts brimmed with the joy of shared adventures. From that day on, the kittens looked at their lives in a different way. They embraced the ordinary, finding magic in the rustling leaves, the babbling brook, and the cozy comforts of their home. They understood that while dreams were wonderful, life itself was the greatest adventure. Yet as the years passed, the kittens grew older, and Whiskerwood Hollow echoed with fewer games and laughter. Still, once a year, as the fireflies danced and the Midnight Cat appeared, a part of their hearts leaped with joy. For they knew that dreams were timeless, magic was real, and their bond of friendship was a treasure to be cherished forever. And so the story of the kittens who caught dreams reminds us that magic lies not just in distant lands, but in our hearts, our friendships, and the dreams we dare to chase. It whispers that the most profound adventures often begin with a single step, and that the greatest treasures are the connections we make along the way. If you liked this cozy tale, please give it a thumbs up. Your support means the world to us. Now close your eyes and drift off to sleep, little one. May your dreams be filled with magic, wonder, and the comforting embrace of friendship. Until next time, sweet dreams. It's nap time at Whiskerwood Hollow and the kittens are ready for their afternoon slumbers. But before they settle in, Elder Marmalade has a special treat. Today, she'll teach them how to dream. Join us as we discover the enchanting world of Whiskerwood Hollow where magical things happen every day. Each kitten in Marmalade's care is unique and wonderful in their own way. There's Wisp, who loves to twirl and dance. Tuna, who's always hungry and ready for a feast. Miso, whose purr is as loud as thunder. And Butterbean, who dreams of adventures beyond the Whispering Wood. Together, they learn valuable lessons about friendship, courage, and kindness from Elder Marmalade, their wise and loving mentor. Today, the kittens are gathered in the heart of their cozy treehouse. It's a place filled with nooks and crannies for playing, sleeping, and dreaming. Sunlight streams through the windows, setting the wooden floorboards aglow. Elder Marmalade sits in her rocking chair, her emerald eyes twinkling with wisdom. She holds a book bound in velvet and ivy, its pages filled with star charts and whispers of the night sky. Do you know, she begins, her voice as soothing as honey, that each of you carries a piece of the moon within your heart? It's true. The kittens stare at her, their eyes wide with wonder. Every time the moon touches the earth, it leaves a little magic behind. And when that magic finds a kitten who believes in dreams, it becomes a part of them. She pauses, allowing her words to sink in. This is why when the moon is full, we have our grandest dreams. It's because the magic within you grows stronger. As the youngest of Marmalade's charges, Butterbean speaks first. His voice is filled with excitement. Can we make our dreams bigger, Elder Marmalade? Like giant adventures full of singing flowers and talking trees? Miso nudges him playfully, his purr rumbling like a tiny motor. Don't be silly, Butterbean. My dream will be the biggest. It will shake the whole Whispering Woods with my mighty roar. He puffs out his chest, trying to look fierce. But his attempt is ruined when his whiskers twitch with cuteness. Wisp floats in the air, her eyes shining with starlight. My dreams are already big, Elder Marmalade. I dance among the clouds, chasing moonbeams and swirling with the wind. She twirls gracefully, her lithe body mimicking the movements of a willow branch swaying in the breeze. Elder Marmalade smiles knowingly. Each of your dreams is wonderful. But today I want to show you something different, something that will help you understand the language of dreams. She opens her book, revealing a page covered with swirling script and celestial maps. This is an ancient scroll, she explains. It teaches us how to send messages to our dreams, to guide them and shape them into whatever we desire. Before the kittens can ask questions, Elder Marmalade begins to chant. The words resonate with power, causing the room to shimmer and the kittens to huddle closer together. As she chants, images dance around them, butterflies with wings of moonlight, cats leaping between star-studded clouds, and whispering trees that share secrets with the wind. When the chanting ends, the images fade, leaving the kittens in awe. Now you must choose a dream to send, Elder Marmalade says, her voice echoing the enchantment of the room. Think of a wish, a hope, or a happy memory. Hold on to that feeling and let it grow. Tuna is the first to step forward. He thinks of chasing after a butterfly, its wings shimmering with 1,000 flavors. The thought sends a tingle down his spine, and he feels a surge of pure joy. He lets out a squeak, a tiny meow filled with excitement. The moment his squeak echoes through the treehouse, a butterfly appears on his shoulder, its wings matching the colors of his dream. With a flick of its wings, it takes flight, leading Tuna into a world of fragrant fields and endless games of chase. Miso chooses to dream of a mountain so tall it tickles the clouds. He pictures himself scaling the rocky heights, his paws gripping the rough terrain, and the thrill of reaching the peak fills him with a sense of pride and accomplishment. As he lets out a mighty roar, a stone tablet materializes in front of him, adorned with markings that seem to guide him toward adventure. Taking a deep breath, he steps toward the tablet, eager to embark on his journey. Next, it's Wisp's turn. She thinks of dancing among the stars, her every move echoing the rhythm of the cosmos. She pictures herself leaping through constellations, her body flowing with the grace of a shooting star. As she lets out a graceful trill, the room shimmers, and she finds herself floating in a sea of stars. The constellations form patterns around her, guiding her steps and inspiring her dance. Finally, it's Butterbean's turn. He thinks of snuggling with his siblings, their fur warm and comforting against his. The memory fills him with a sense of love and belonging, and he lets out a contented chirp. As his chirp echoes, a patchwork quilt materializes around him, stitched together with moonlight and dreams. With a smile, he burrows into the quilt, enveloped by the warmth of shared memories. As each kitten embarks on their chosen dream, Elder Marmalade watches with a gentle smile. She knows that in their dreams, the kittens will not only have adventures, but also learn valuable lessons about themselves and the world around them. In the dream world, Tuna discovers that the butterfly he's chasing leads him to a field of aromatic herbs. Each plant has a unique fragrance and a special purpose. Tuna learns about the healing properties of lavender, the calming essence of chamomile, and the invigorating aroma of mint. He realizes that dreams can teach us about the world in unexpected ways. Miso finds that the path to the towering mountain is filled with challenges. He must navigate through dense forests, cross gushing waterfalls, and climb treacherous rocks. Along the way, he meets friendly creatures who offer him guidance and support. He learns that dreams can test our courage and resilience, helping us discover inner strength we didn't know we had. Wisp realizes that dancing among the stars requires more than just grace and agility. She must also learn to harmonize her movements with the rhythm of the cosmos. She practices leaping between constellations, each jump bringing her closer to a deeper understanding of balance and timing. She learns that dreams can expand our skills and talents, allowing us to reach new heights. Butterbean discovers that the comfort of his patchwork quilt comes from the love and connection he shares with his fellow kittens. He dreams of playing hide and seek among the clouds, and each giggle and squeal adds a new patch to his quilt. He realizes that dreams can strengthen bonds of friendship and family, reminding us of what truly matters. As the kittens continue their adventures, they begin to understand the deeper meanings behind their dreams. Tuna realizes that the beauty of nature extends beyond just the senses. The plants he's meeting have medicinal qualities that can heal and soothe. Miso realizes that the challenges he faces on his journey are opportunities for growth. Each obstacle helps him become braver, more determined, and more compassionate. Wisp realizes that the harmony of the stars is not just a spectacle, but a reflection of the balance within herself. Her dreams are showing her how to find peace and focus in a world full of movement. Butterbean realizes that the comfort of home comes from the love and connection he shares with his family. The laughter and warmth of his dreams are a reminder of the importance of cherishing relationships. As the sun begins to set, the kittens begin their journey back to the Whispering Woods. They carry with them the lessons, experiences, and emotions they've encountered in their dreams. Their eyes are shining with newfound wisdom, and their hearts are filled with gratitude for the magic that resides within them. Back in Whiskerwood Hollow, the kittens gather around Elder Marmalade. They share stories of their adventures, each realizing that their dreams were not just fantasies, but pathways to self-discovery and personal growth. They learn that dreams have the power to inspire, teach, and connect us to the world in ways we never imagined. Elder Marmalade smiles, knowing that the magic of dreams will continue to guide and shape these young kittens as they navigate the wonders of life.